What's up, guys? Welcome back to PKG. I'm joined here with Mike, as always. I'm Evan. If you don't know who we are, or you're here and you don't know why, we are just couple brothers that we like video games. Simple as that. So we're really big Pokemon guys. If you go check out the channel, we've got lots of different things like versus Nuzlocks. We do type of the month things. We talk about all this different things. Pokemon related. We also have Smash Bros videos, other video games related. Mike posted a sports one, and I'm sure we'll probably do a lot more of those other games. But mostly it's Pokemon. Pokemon is just kind of our main focus because it's the easiest. So speaking of Pokemon, the Presents, the 25th anniversary just came out, and we thought we'd do a video just where we kind of like review it, talk about it, what we want to see, what we don't like, what we like, kind of see where we want the game to go. And then we're also going to talk about the remake that they're doing with the Arceus Legends. And same thing, we'll kind of talk about it, all that. So, yeah. You ready to go, McQuelly?
I will hit this video and we'll go through the video. I don't know if this really matters because we know basic information, but we just want to kind of show you in case you haven't seen it. So let's go through it in 3, 2, 1, go.
And you know what? Maybe we'll miss something, or maybe we missed something that we forgot about. I haven't played this game in so long, though.
I know. I'm excited for when we. Well, I played a randomizer with my girlfriend a little bit back, but
yeah. See, Diamond was my favorite. Dialga is like one of my favorite legendaries. I need to remember this game. See, the first complaint I had was the chibi look, but we'll talk about that after. I still like the way it looks. I think it looks great. I don't think it looks. See, I kind of like the way it looked on the DS. I think it looked better. Like this just looks too rounded, too childish, you know?
Yeah.
It's not as like, I don't know. I like the other version because it was more intense.
Like I understand what they were trying to do with trying to make it look like the old game.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I hate the legs. I hate the chibi look.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either, but I'm a huge fan of what they're doing with the art style for the battling. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, brilliant. I do like
the Diamond.
I don't really like Shining.
Do you like the names?
I don't.
I'm not a fan of them. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought they were gonna go based off of time and space.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did you pause it? Pause it. 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 Okay.
I'll just do that.
So let's talk about it. So I know we were kind of talking about it during that whole sequence. The first thing I said, I don't like the chibi look. It still looks great. Like the game still looks good. It's gonna be on the Switch, so I understand it's gonna look similar to Let's Go and stuff. Like it's just that's the way it's gonna look. I know a lot of people complain about how things and how all the different games have looked over the years and like how the difference is between them, and nobody makes up their mind. But it just, I'm worried that Pokemon has done the same thing that they've done for a long time now, where it's like the first 4 gens or 5 gens, I guess, were actually hard. Like they were actually just like, here's a game that will challenge you and you need to do well. And then after that, they like babied you the whole way. And they're like, especially on the Alolan, like the Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon. Moon. No, but Sun and Moon, it was just like, here, come this way. Okay, then I'll come this way. Okay, now come over here and do this. And it was just like, just let me play the fucking game. Like I feel like it's just so like one way. Right. And I remember Diamond and Pearl, it wasn't like that. Like you could do so many things with it. I don't know. I'm excited the way it looks. It doesn't look bad. I understand it's a remaster, so obviously it's going to look a little different. But I don't know. What do you think, Mike? I feel like it just.
For me personally, I don't care about graphics that much.
I don't care about graphics either.
Yeah. Like
graphics to me isn't an issue.
Yeah, like I personally don't care. I think if it plays good, I don't care if it looks bad. Like fuck, if it looks like Pokemon Coliseum, I'd still fucking play it. Like
Coliseum, Pokemon State, like those games. Like we were talking about this the other night. We had dinner with our family, and it was just like it could look like one of those games, and I wouldn't care. Like to me, that's cool. It just I don't like how childishly animated it looks and how like rounded everything is.
Yeah.
I just remember Diamond and Pearl. It was just like intense, sharp look to it. It's like Pokemon looked badass. But when I see Garchomp in that video, it just kind of seems, I don't know. It just doesn't look as like intimidating as I remember.
Yeah, and that's just it, right? For me personally, it's a Diamond and Pearl remake. Like, it's my favorite game of the whole series. So like, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play the fuck out of it, and hopefully, we'll talk about what kind of features we want in a second. So we'll talk about what kind of things we do want in the game. But I think I like it personally. I think it's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, I agree.
There's some things that they should bring into it and stuff like that, and like, yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, so some of the things that we want them to focus on and hope that's in there. And I know for like years people have talked about this, but we'll kind of go over like all the different things. But the first thing for me, and I was really telling Michael about this, it was like, I need it. They need to bring back mega forms. I personally think, even if it was just like a handful of them, they missed out on so many opportunities because a lot of the megas that they did when they first brought them out, like for Oras and so Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and then also for X and Y, all the megas that they brought out, it was kind of mostly Gen 1s, Gen 2s, actually, yeah, Gen 2s, Gen 3s, and then a couple Gen 4s, like it wasn't a whole lot of them, and then it was like Audino.
Yeah.
And they didn't really bring anything after that. So for me, when I look at the megas, it was 2 games for megas. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were really, really good with that because I thought they were like, okay, here's Gen 3, turn all the megas or put all the megas into the game and give a bunch of Pokemon new megas. And then it revolutionized the game because then you had Omega, or then you had the Praval forms of the legendaries, Mega Rayquaza, like that was really cool. And then you gave all these other Pokemon new looks and it looked really cool. So when I look at the Diamond and Pearl games, I sit here and think, okay, you've got Mega Lucario, Mega Garchomp, Mega Gallade, Mega Lopunny. Then you got to look at all the other Pokemon where it's like this gen was like, they gave us all these evolutions for Gen 1 Pokemon. So like Magmortar, Electivire, Tangrowth. Then there was like Gliscor, Yanmega, Weavile, excuse me. All these like evolutions for these Pokemon back then that were not good. And it was really cool. But now they need a couple megas, like a Staraptor, a Mega Staraptor. Give the Pokemon some love. A Mega Luxray, add the dark typing to it. Go back to Staraptor, flying fighting. Right? The only flying fighting I know of is Hawlucha. And even though it is a really cool Pokemon and there's a huge fan favorite, like a fan base behind it, how cool would a fighting flying Staraptor be? Like, I think that would be dope. Match it with his close combat moves. Like, that would be so cool. Other Pokemon I think we were discussing, we were talking about the other night, like there's other Pokemon that I think are underwhelming. So like there's Hippowdon, there's Gastrodon. I'm gonna look up a list. I don't know, Michael. What do you think? Like, what's your thought about megas while I look up this list?
Well, I think it's a perfect time to do it because there's already some Gen 4 megas already. Like, you've already have the basis for it already there. You have the badass Pokemon to do it with. Like, there's no point of bringing in all these Gen 4 megas if you're not going to use it in the Gen 4 game. Like, there's a certain point where they should add all these extra megas for it. And I feel like this would be the last game to put megas in, I think, just because it is the first 4 gens mega Pokemon. I mean, unless you want to do it for Gen 5 with Audino being like the mainstay, I guess. But
yeah.
But
okay, so sorry, continue.
But like, it seems like this is a special remake, and they should have something special in it.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it, and because here's the other thing: if with Gmax and Dynamax, I don't want that.
Yeah.
In Diamond and Pearl, I don't want that carrying over, because then you're taking something. Because they kind of did that with the Mega stuff, where it's like, okay, Mega's in this game, all of a sudden you bring it back into like an older game, and it worked. The problem with Dynamax though is like the whole basis of Dynamaxing in that game was like only select areas like gyms and stuff worked. So if you bring it back, it's going to be very difficult to continue that. Also, looking at the battle style that was in the trailer, it doesn't look like it's a big stadium like they had it in that game where you can do that. So I don't think that'll happen. First off, for the Megas, the starters. So I look at the starters and I'm like, I don't think they need them because when they brought out the starters for or the Megas for Gen 1 and 3, right? Charizard and Blaziken got it. Or sorry, the first gen got it right away, and then Blaziken got it, and then eventually the other Gen 3 starters got it. I don't think they're going to give it to the starters in this gen because those three Pokemon are unreal. All three of them will be fine. So I don't think that either of them will get it. They all have a unique type to them. They don't have to add a typing to any of them. So I don't know if they'll add it to any of the starters,
I feel
unfortunately.
Like they'll have to, though, if they do.
No, but the thing is, if you give it a Mega, then it's just going to be a stale, like, yeah, they get one too, right? And then it becomes this whole thing where it's like, okay, these guys get starters or these guys get Megas, but then you look at the Gen 2 starters where they're missing so much and they need the love and they're not giving it to them, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. And I know like Gen 1 starters have gotten a lot of love they both have Dynamax or Gigantamax forms and Mega forms, and they get all the love, especially Charizard, even though he's my favorite. I'm kind of getting tired of it. But I don't think they'll give it to them. These Pokemon are badass by themselves. Like I don't think I've ever talked to somebody and like said, which Gen 4 starters do you think suck the most? Like which of the three? And they go, maybe Infernape, but even then he's a badass. The only problem with him is that he shares the typing with Blaziken and Emboar, right? Empoleon and Torterra are huge. Like they're amazing. The typings, right? Designs, everything. But okay, so looking at the list, Luxray I think needs it. Staraptor needs it. I think a Vespiquen, that would be dope. Take away like maybe the flying type or give it another evolution for like the male bees. I don't know. Yeah. Give it something different, but giving Vespiquen a Mega, because I loved using Vespiquen in the old games. I would use it all the time. Floatzel could use one. I don't think that would hurt it. I think it would be cool. You could kind of give it like a secondary typing with the water. Gastrodon, I'm sure Mike, you would love that. If Gastrodon had a Mega, because I don't know, he's a good Pokemon, but I find him almost underwhelming compared to like you look at Swampert, and then there's also Whiscash, but I think Gastrodon's better than Whiscash. Lopunny has a Mega. And then you get the Pokemon like Mismagius, Honchkrow, like all those evolutions that I was talking about earlier. I don't think they're going to get one because they had their own thing already. They already got evolutions. I don't think they'll get another thing from that. Maybe they will. I don't know. Gallade got a Mega because Gardevoir did. But then you got Pokemon like Skuntank and Purugly and Bronzong, like the Team Galactic Pokemon. Maybe they'll get Megas to kind of challenge you that way. Spiritomb, that could be dope, giving him a Mega. Lucario has one. Hippowdon could use one. Toxicroak and Drapion, right? Getting a Mega somewhere in there. Abominusnow has a Mega, so that already fits. See, now I'm going through the list and I'm at the Magnazones, Weaviles, all that. Yeah, it's all the evolutions now and then legendaries. So, and I don't know, like, then I look at the legendaries, like Dialga and Palkia. Maybe give them a Mega. How cool would that be? Like the time and space?
Yeah, time form and space form.
Yeah, because Giratina got an origin form. Give the other two a form. I'm sure that's what they'll do. I'm sure that's like the whole idea behind it all because Giratina has two forms. They'll probably give the other two special forms. But you have so many legendaries in this game, right? You have the 3 lake spirits. You have Heatran, Cresselia, Darkrai, the mythicals with Shaman, Manaphy, and Fion. You've got Heatran and Regigigas. Like, you could do so much with those. And I'm sure because with the new Regis that they've put in Sword and Shield, they'll probably include those in this game, right? So you can have all the Regis. But there's so many possibilities with these Pokemon that you could, like, add to and change, right? So, I don't know. I know that was a big, long sprint of a discussion about Megas and stuff, but that's the main thing I hope they bring. Either alternate forms to add to, like, the legendaries that they did, or give more evolutions to Pokemon that need them, like they originally did, or add in more Megas. So that's my thought.
I think they should add in more megas. Personally,
I agree.
I think they have to do something.
And you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
I think they have to do something. I think they have to do like anything to make this game a little bit different, or else fans will get thrown off.
Agreed.
And they saw all the backlash they got from all their social media from it being the way it is, and people saying if there's nothing in it, we're not going to buy it. So I think they have to do something. And I think they've realized it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I see is it's like you don't also just have to give megas to the 4th gen Pokemon. There's other Pokemon you could give them to. Like, you could explore the idea of going, okay, Gen 4 games. Fuck it, let's give the starters megas. But then later on, maybe after you beat the game, you get a Gen 2 starter, and maybe you can get the Mega Stones for those, and then they bring out megas for those guys. That way, the first 4 gen starters all have megas. Then after that, you do some sort of megas with past gens, so like Pokemon like Flygon, like just fixing those little problems that people complained about, and just giving it to them in this Gen 4 game, and finally going, here's what you wanted. Let's move on from this so people don't keep bitching about it, and we can move forward with new Pokemon ideas. Because that's the thing, they keep bringing out more and more and more and more, and then they forget about the past. And then they try to fix it with all these new variations of old stuff. But it's like, just give us what we want. There's so many old things that still need love, like the Gen 2 starters, Flygon needing a Mega. Gen 1's had so many remakes and stuff, which is great. But then they just don't, like, they're finally giving us a Gen 4 remaster. They need to use it to fix all their little things from the past, or else people are going to get turned off Pokemon. And you know what? I get it. It's a marketing thing. They're going to make tons of money off of this. And all these people are saying, oh, I'm not going to buy it, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm going to start hitting Pokemon. The thing is Pokemon's already skyrocketed. Pokemon cards are a huge thing now. It's all taken off again. Like, it's massive now. Like, it was big before, but now it's just crazy because people have just turned stupid about it. But they need to just help the people that were there before all this happened. Give us those little things, and then you can move on. Then the new generations, like all the kids, that's when you can introduce new stuff for them, and then we can just kind of be like, okay, there's new stuff. This is cool. Even if I don't like it, I'm still content with what I have. So that's my argument about that.
But yeah, and then
Michael's there like, okay, I just want to talk. But cool.
No, it's okay. Yeah, to beat this game, I don't know. We were having a conversation with people on Instagram. I'm just going to call it a conversation, not an argument. We were having a conversation, and me and this one dude were going at it about how
he claimed that the 2nd gen games didn't have the first region, like they didn't have Kanto in them.
Yeah, so he said some stuff that isn't the smartest thing on the planet.
Frankly, he had no idea.
So then he was going back and forth with me about how they're not going to do anything for this game. It's going to be the exact same game, and there's not even going to be Battle Frontier and everything, which is just not true. If it's a remaster, they're definitely going to have everything that was in Diamond and Pearl in this game, no matter what. You're guaranteed to have everything that's in the original game in this game. Battle Frontier, they'll give something for Giratina. That's going to happen. They'll probably do like a side story for Shaman. They'll probably do a side story for Manaphy and Fion. They'll probably do a lot of shit for side stories for all these legendaries like Cresselia and Heatran. They'll do all those things. It's going to happen. And if it doesn't, they're stupid. And that's not even the extra features on top of it.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get. I'll talk about like the Arceus Legends after this. Like, there's a point that I wanted to add. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It was just there was like this discussion on Instagram was just it was kind of a heated exchange. I escalated it to the point where I kind of called him out for his stupidity, and then he got mad and called me a moron, and it was great. But it was just one of those things where it was just, I didn't mean it to do that. I was just kind of, I was calling him out. I'm like, just stop commenting if you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, but yeah, there's so many things that they could do. they'll Battle Frontier has to be in there. If it's not, then they're so dumb. Like fucking hell, just
so
sell the
many
company then.
opportunities, Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, yeah, focus on the legendaries. Give them alternate forms like Giratina, so he's not the only special one anymore. Just do something. Add to it. Keep it the same, but add more stuff. And I think that was the problem as well with newer games, like since Diamond and Pearl, like after the Battle Frontier. Once you beat the Battle Frontier, after Gen 4, after the Battle Frontier stuff, post-game in all the games after that don't really exist. Like X and Y, they had a fantastic story arc, but then there were so many rivals and no after story that it was just bad. And like all these other games, there's no post game. So they need to have a post game, frankly. Like honestly, the best post game was Gen 2. Being able to go to the Kanto region and just like explore all that was awesome. It was like a whole other game. Like if you've checked out our Versus Nuzlocke series, we did a team lock for Gen 2. It took forever because we had to go to Kanto. It was like 2 separate games, but it was still awesome. And I want that again. Like, and I can make a whole video about this. I've wanted a game like this will probably be like the last game they think about because they wouldn't do this just to end Pokemon. Where it's just like it's a console game. You have every single game to play from. They do like a remaster of every single game, every single gen that you can play. You have all your Pokemon you can put in one space, like one box. Like if you're finished Gen 1, you can put them all in there to save for later, and then you can start new games and other, like all of them. But once you kind of beat games, you can go to other gens from those games, or it's like, okay, I finished Gen 1, I've unlocked Gen 2, now I go there and I kind of restart. I still have like a Pokemon related to the Gen 4 or Gen 1, but I can go back and forth and explore different regions. So that way it's like, if I say go to Gen 4 and get my favorite Pokemon or something, or say I start in Gen 1, I grab a Charmander, then I can go over to Diamond and Pearl and have a Charmander for Gen 4. That way it's like I can use whichever Pokemon I want in different generations to play through the games. But we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, and it especially makes it cool because like all my favorite Pokemon are before Gen 5.
Yeah.
So I could easily just do that and have my whole entire team in Gen 4.
Well, and that's the thing. Like I think about it in Sword and Shield, like I was saying in our best and worst videos with the Obstagoon. Like I could make a whole team from that game of my favorite and then still have a couple left over. Like I think I have like 9 Pokemon from that game that have honestly kind of become in my top 20 Pokemon. Easy. Like some of them have broken my top 5. And because of that, I want to be able to use them more. You know what I mean? Like all these gens in the past, I still have a lot of favorite Pokemon from them. But there's a lot of gens in the middle where I'm just like, I don't give a shit about these.
Like Gen 5, like
I liked Embor.
Crocodile's cool.
Oh, I like Crocodile, yeah. There's a couple in there I could probably pick out, but I'm not going to sit here. Like when I think Gen 1, immediately Charizard, Golem, Nidoking, Alakazam, Gengar, Machamp. Then I go to Gen 2, Steelix, Scizor, Typhlosion, Feraligatr. And then I go to Gen 3. All 3 starters. You got Gardevoir, you got Aggron, you got Tyranitar from Gen 2, I forgot about him. But Gen 3 you got Metagross. Like you can just sit here and go, I can name off all these Pokemon that are my favorite. I look at Gen 5 and I'm like, shit.
Chandelure, Crocodile, Embor, Vanillix. No kidding.
Galvantula. Like it takes me a minute, and it's maybe because I'm not as like well versed in the Gen 5 Pokemon, but like Gen 4, I could sit here and be like Staraptor, Luxray, all 3 starters, Dialga. I like Magnemortar, Electivire, Yanmega, Rhyperior. Like just all those Pokemon like are sick.
Anyway.
Speaking
of that, Pokemon Legends.
Arceus Legends,
whatever. Yeah. Oh, Am I still sharing screens? No, I'm not. Am I?
No, you haven't been this whole time. All right, so we're gonna watch this one. There's a lot of points that I have about this one as well. I'll try to keep it shorter and less angry, but let's watch.
We're not really angry. We're just kind of discussing.
So you could probably skip this a little bit because she's talking, but actually, just we don't have the sound on because we didn't want it to be like some, I don't know, copyright issue, but also it just makes it easier because then we can talk over it.
Yeah.
Okay, so immediately, sorry, what?
No, you can go ahead. Go first.
I was just gonna say immediately when I saw this, I thought this was dope.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remake. It's an older kind of. It's a new game based off of an old region. And it's funny. I was talking to Johnny about this a long time ago, and he came up with the idea. He was like, "What if you made a MMORPG that looks like Breath of the Wild, Zelda?" And I'm like, "There's no way." And here we go. That's exactly what they did.
And it looks like this game you can have any Pokemon you want, really.
Do you know what this kind of reminds me of? Pokemon Ranger.
Yeah.
Like it's that kind of esque. Where it's not the typical.
Except you don't have to like circle around it.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of where you're in a wild area and you're just trying to catch a Pokemon.
Yeah.
The battling kind of looks cool. Wild Pokemon or starters are in the wild. It looks like that Chimchar was in the wild.
Yeah, it's to make up for the fact that they use these 3 starters.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about this. I actually read this thing. There's a whole reasoning behind it. So, but I'm still annoyed. But we'll talk about it.
But yes, we'll talk about it. But
okay.
Wait, is this still? Yeah, this is just the Arceus thing, right?
Yeah, the Arceus
reveal. Then he's evil. Yeah.
So I'm really curious on what they're going to do with the Arceus thing, because we were talking about the other game about megas and all this form stuff, and I get it. He has like the pixie plates and stuff, but I'm excited for the story that they're going to use for this, especially if Arceus is involved, because he was never really involved in the old games.
Even though he's a big deal.
Yeah, he's the god Pokemon, but you never see him. So I'm excited for it, but I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do to make it unique in the sense where it's like, what are they going to give him that's going to make him awesome? Like, I don't want it to be a story about how he's shaping the world and then you just have to beat him, or an evil organization's trying to catch him to rule the world, and then it's just like, thanks for saving me, and then Arceus is on your team. Like, just give me something a little bit more. So the first thing I want to talk about is the starters. I was reading somewhere, and me and Michael have had lots of discussions about this. I understand why they picked, well, 2 of them, but I understand why they picked these starters. If you look at the trailer, it looks like it's some sort of, like it's an older Chinese town kind of thing, like samurai, ninja-esque. Like, that's the kind of like art style they've gone with it, and like that's how your character looks. If I was playing a game or making a game based off of that, Rowlet and Oshawott make a lot of sense. And the reason for that is Rowlet is kind of based off of those archers, like the sneaky archers that they kind of had, and that was like that I was reading it, and they were talking about that's why they were doing it. The grass ghost archer kind of thing, it matches really well. It works. Like it's annoying because the whole Rowlet art design in the Alola games was based off of the dead owl, or I can't remember what it's called, but it's based off a species of owl in Hawaii. That's why it's ghost type. But I understand why it's in this as it is. Okay. Oshawott, I also understand, because when it evolves into Samurai, it's a samurai. Totally makes sense. I totally get it. Samurai, Oshawott, cool. I think that Greninja might have been a better choice because it's a ninja. Maybe that would have been a better spin off of it. I don't know. But I'm not mad about Oshawott. The only thing I'm mad about it is that Samurot's a monotype, and I probably won't use him. I'd probably pick the Decidueye no matter what, because I like him better. The thing that I'm confused about, and the thing that I read about, they actually said it took a lot harder. Like it took a lot longer and it was much harder to find anything about it. And they found like some like Japanese translation into words. I can't remember the exact story, but it was really a long, like they were reaching for it. But Cyndaquil, I don't know. If I had to pick a Pokemon to fit in there, I would have probably picked Blaziken, just based off the fact of the firefighting. Like it's a Blaziken chicken, and it kind of reminds me. Like I know there's always that like the fan arts of Urza from Fairy Tail. She looks like Blaziken with those like fire pants, and she holds like a samurai sword, and that's the whole thing. I just think Blaziken looks more of like a martial artist with like how the look is and how it's like that's the fighting type. I think that would have made a lot more sense in my mind, just opposed to Cyndaquil. I don't think Cyndaquil is the best choice. I think Torchic probably would have fit a little bit more. I see why they didn't, because having two bird starters might have been a little weird. Like aesthetically, it might have been a little weird, but that's just my choice. So if I had to pick starters for this game, I would have probably went Torchic, Rowlet, and then Froakie or Oshawott. That one works too. But that's my choice. Those would have been my choice in terms of starters. Other than that, I don't know. It's weird. What do you think, Mike? What are your thoughts?
Well, for me, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier with Gen 2 and how Gen 2 doesn't get the love it deserves. So I thought that's kind of why they went with it, because Cyndaquil in Gen 2 doesn't get that much love. So why not give love to a Gen 2 starter? Like, that's what I thought they were originally going to do. Obviously, there's all that reasoning that you just talked about. Yeah. But I just think I like the idea of having a Gen 2 in there just because Gen 2's kind of been forgotten when it comes to starters. So being able to have that starter that's there, I think it's cool.
That's fair, yeah.
And I like the idea of being able to catch the it seems like just Sinnoh starters. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, it looks like Chimchar. The Chimchar was the only one in there. So maybe you can catch Sinnoh starters in the wild. Because Piplup's in there too, I guess.
Yeah, and I think I saw Turtwig at some point too. So
I think but it's a battle with Turtwig.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. It looks, yes, you're right. Like it looks like the Sinnoh starters are there, so you could still get those. But it looks like your starter Pokemon is based off of like, I'm sure it's going to be some older guy that's like, here's the old fashioned, like here's a Pokemon, and then it's going to be kind of Japanese based, like, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be like an old town of like these have been passed down and blah 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 generations, all that shit. So I see it. But yeah, I agree with you. The Gen 2 starters need some love. Now to add to that, what we were talking about with the other game with Megas, I think this would be an interesting time to look at it and go, obviously, Samurott being a monotype starter, and Cyndaquil being a monotype starter, you can't just start giving these guys megas, because then they're starters for another game, and then the other starters from another gen. It's not going to be fair. I know they did that with Blaziken, and then they had to fix it. So I don't think they're going to do that. And that was the thing that I was thinking about earlier after I talked about the other game, maybe giving Gen 2 starters and then Gen 4 starters. Then you look at it and go, okay, well then Typhlosion's going to be the only one with a mega in this game if they have megas. Maybe they don't have megas at all in the Arceus Legends. That would be fine with me. But then I think about it and I go, maybe you just start giving all the fucking starters megas and shit. Like, I don't fucking know.
Well, here's another thing that I was kind of thinking about, in the fact that maybe this game is the beginning of Pokemon taking away gens completely. And just making it kind of a thing where everything's a singular gen.
Maybe, but the thing is it's kind of like a side game, and the problem with taking them away would be when you want to release a new Pokemon game, you need to make a new generation, and you're gonna have to make new starters. You can't just bring in old starters and be like, "Here's a new game," because people will be upset that there's no new starters. So I get what you're saying though, because they're gonna run out of ideas. They already have been. They made a fucking trash bag Pokemon and a ice cream cone, like.
Because like maybe they do this side story thing, and then as they make a remake for like Gen 5, they make another like rendition of it, and as they do that, this is the kind of the series where there's no gens, and then they can still have their other gens over on this end of the game.
Maybe, in terms of like remastering and remaking games, I think the one that needs it the most, just based off of pattern, because Gen 1, they just came out with Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. So there you go. They've had is it just 2 remakes?
Leaf Green Fire Red and Let's Go.
Yeah, I think that was it for Gen 1. Gen 2 had Heart Gold Soul Silver.
You could definitely remake it though.
So Ruby and Sapphire had their DS remakes. Diamond and Pearl are getting their remake now. And then after that, there's no really any other remakes. I think the next one in line is probably Heart Gold Soul Silver. And I don't think it's going to be hard for them. And honestly, I think it's just going to be another Let's Go. It's probably going to be like a Let's Go. And then they'll probably pick 2 random Pokemon for
Wooper.
it.
Let's go Wooper.
Yeah, I know there is like hints at like Let's Go Wooper and Let's
go Wooper.
Sentret or something. I think it'd kind of be cool if they did Eevee again, because then you could do an Espeon Umbreon. But the thing is, it's different. Or it'd be the same thing as the other game. And it wouldn't evolve. So you couldn't do Eevee. I think you'd have to pick a Pokemon from that game that doesn't evolve, kind of like how they did with Pikachu and Eevee. But I think they'll probably have to just make a Let's Go for the second gen games. And I know they did Let's Go just to match it up with Pokemon Go. Maybe they do that again. I hope they don't. I hope they just kind of keep it as its own game.
Yeah.
But in terms of that being a remake, do that. I don't think there needs to be a Ruby Sapphire remake just because that version was pretty recent. It was still a 3DS game, right? All these 3DS games are still pretty like recent. It's just all these like older regular DS games like Diamond and Pearl, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Those games could definitely use a remake, and they're already doing Diamond and Pearl. So I think the next one is probably going to be Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
And then probably Black and White.
No. You know what needs a remake? Okay, so hear me out. I would lose my goddamn... I'm excited for the Gen 4 remakes, but this would be the ultimate remake for me. So Pokemon Stadium. I think that would be a sick remake. Right? They kind of did it where they did Pokemon Stadium and then they did Pokemon Revolution on the Wii, which I played the shit out of that game. They need to do another one of those. Make it kind of like the Battle Frontier from 4th Gen. I think that would be kind of cool where they mix the two together. But do it. Do it again. Do another Pokemon Stadium for the Switch or whatever console you're going to do it on in the future.
Make it online. Make it like a ranking
No,
thing.
don't do online because then... you mean like you could battle online? Yeah, sure. Do that. Yeah. So
make it a ranking system. You could like...
Yeah, like do it like you would normally. Right, all that jazz. You can battle online with friends because then it's way easier to battle now online than it was back then. But then you can like hook up your games. You can put all your Pokemon home. You can like battle or grab Pokemon from there and put them in or whatever. And that'll just kind of be like your, I can't think of the word, but like your base of Pokemon, like where they all sit, your home, your huddle, whatever you want to call it. But give me that kind of game where it's, and then a big remake that I would absolutely lose my mind, or not even remake, just like a new game. If they did XD and Coliseum again, like a game like that. So like I'm playing Coliseum right now and it is fun as shit. Obviously it's a very dark and disturbing version of a Pokemon game, but it is so fun. And then you go to XD and it was just an even better version of that. There's more Pokemon. They had a way better story. It was a longer game. So much cooler. If they did a remake, not even a remake, I don't want a remake. Don't give me a remake, okay? But just give me another Shadow game. Like they've put Shadow Pokemon in Pokemon Go. They've put Mega Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Like they've had all these features which are great. Give me those back. I want that in a game. Give me like a Switch game called Pokemon, I don't know, whatever.
You can even do a callback to all the other guys.
Sure, yeah, but just give me a game like that where it's a Shadow Pokemon based threat, double battles. I loved in Coliseum how you started with an Espeon and Umbreon. I thought that was so smart of them to do because those are two Pokemon that I thought they were kind of like everybody loved them, but nobody ever really could use them because getting an Eevee into both of those was always very difficult. So just starting off with those two was awesome. But yeah, just give me a newer version of those and I'm set. I would be so happy and so excited for that. Like I would honestly, like I know a lot of people freaked out at the Gen 4 trailers that we just watched. But if I was watching a trailer for that kind of game, I would lose my goddamn mind. I'd be squealing and jumping, and oh my god, I miss the double battles. I miss that.
Could you imagine if Arceus Legends, like the whole time it was like showing this new game, and then Arceus's eye, instead of turning red, turned purple, and it was Shadow? Could you imagine?
Oh, that'd be scary.
That'd be so dope. It would. My mind would have been blown, but it turned red, and I was like, damn.
Well, I mean, their eyes are red.
That is true.
Anyway, but that's for me. I want that as a game. I want that as a new game or a remake. Just start doing Shadow games again. Those were probably my favorite Pokemon games, and I want a remake of like Pokemon Stadium. And you know what? Literally make it a remaster or a remake. Literally just remake the fucking game where it's a three across list of Pokemon that you choose from that are just, they have their attacks, and then you can like set your game up to battle with your own Pokemon. And then Pokemon Revolution, same thing, like rental Pokemon, and just give me that fucking game. Like even if they just had a ROM emulator of Pokemon Stadium where they remastered it and put it on the Switch, I'd play the shit out of that. Like if you just Pokemon Stadium 2, just the first and second gen, remastered the shit out of that, put the ROM on the Switch, I'd play that all the fucking time, hands down. Give me that. Nintendo, if you watch this, that's what I want.
Okay. I think we should probably stop.
Yes, this has been a long video. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down below what you guys want to see with the game. We always see we gave our ideas. Make sure you also leave a like, subscribe, follow us on social media at Piece of Kaake Gaming on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you again for 100 Instagram followers. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and we will see you all later.
Bye, guys.